In the heart of Nightfall City, a place known for its bright lights and endless energy, lived a woman named Zara. Zara was a beauty that no one could ignore. Her dark, wavy hair framed a face that glowed like moonlight, and her every movement seemed to draw attention from anyone nearby. But while her outward beauty was a gift, her life was far from glamorous. She'd been raised in a city that valued wealth and power, and as she grew up, she often felt lost in a place where everything felt shallow and fleeting. As she moved through her early 20s, Zara felt a deeper need for connection, for admiration and a sense of control over her own life. One cold winter night, while walking through a quiet part of town, Zara spotted an old shop tucked between high-rise buildings. The shop seemed out of place in the modern city, with its wooden doors and windows filled with strange objects. Curious, Zara stepped inside, feeling a strange pull towards something she couldn't explain. The shop was dimly lit, with shelves packed with dusty old books and curious trinkets. Behind the counter, an elderly woman watched her with sharp, piercing eyes. The woman spoke softly, "You're searching for something, aren't you?" Zara felt exposed, as if the woman could see straight into her heart. "I suppose I am," she replied, though she wasn't sure exactly what she was looking for. The woman reached beneath the counter and pulled out a book bound in leather, worn from time. "This book holds ancient secrets," she said, sliding it towards Zara. "It contains spells, charms, and powers that could give you what you desire most." Intrigued, Zara flipped through the pages. The language was strange, but she could feel the weight of the book's promise. "What would it cost me?" she asked, sensing that nothing this powerful could come free. The woman smiled, her eyes gleaming with an unspoken warning. "Power always comes with a price, my dear. But sometimes, we don't realize the cost until it's too late." Zara hesitated, but felt an overwhelming desire to claim the book. She paid the woman and took it home, eager to explore its secrets. That night, as she read through the spells, she found one that promised the power to enchant anyone who crossed her path, a power that would make her the center of attention. Eagerly, she followed the ritual, lighting candles and speaking the words written on the page. As she finished, a strange sensation filled her body, a surge of warmth and energy. She looked in the mirror and gasped. Her beauty had intensified in a way she hadn't thought possible. Her skin seemed to glow, her eyes sparkled, and every curve of her body felt as though it had been perfectly crafted to draw admiration. The next day, Zara stepped out onto the busy streets of Nightfall City, and instantly, heads turned. People seemed drawn to her as if under a spell, their gazes lingering, their whispers following her wherever she went. She found herself enjoying the attention, basking in the newfound power she held over those around her. Men and women alike became mesmerized, offering gifts, favors, anything to gain her attention. But as days turned into weeks, Zara began to notice a strange emptiness creeping in. The smiles she received felt hollow, and despite being surrounded by admirers, she felt more alone than ever. Each night, when she returned home, she felt a chill in the air, as if something dark and unseen had settled around her. One evening, while at a lively rooftop party, Zara spotted a man standing quietly near the edge, watching the city lights instead of the crowd. He was handsome, but in a gentle way, with kind eyes that seemed to hold a world of stories. She approached him, expecting the usual dazed look of admiration, but instead, he looked at her with genuine warmth. "Hi," she said, surprised by her own nervousness. "Hi, I'm Leo," he replied, smiling. They began to talk, and to Zara's surprise, she felt an ease with him that she hadn't felt with anyone else. He seemed to look past her beauty, seeing something deeper. Over the next few weeks, Zara and Leo grew closer. He was thoughtful, funny, and curious about her life in a way that felt refreshing. With him, she felt no need to use her powers. In fact, she avoided using them around him, afraid he would be affected. For the first time in months, she felt real happiness. But as her feelings for Leo grew, Zara felt the weight of the spell growing stronger. The emptiness inside her began to feel more painful, draining her with every passing day. She knew her beauty and allure came at a price, but she hadn't expected it to feel like this, a slow, creeping loss of her own joy. One evening, after a quiet dinner, Leo noticed the sadness in her eyes. "Zara, what's really going on?" he asked gently. "You seem like you're carrying something heavy." Torn between fear and trust, Zara decided to tell him the truth. She explained everything: how she'd been feeling lost, how she'd found the book and performed the ritual. Leo listened quietly, his expression serious. "So, you're under a spell that gives you this power?" he asked thoughtfully. Zara nodded, feeling a mixture of shame and relief. "You don't need it, Zara," he said softly, taking her hand. "I care for you, not because of some enchantment, but because of who you are." Hearing his words, Zara felt a surge of hope. "But how do I break it?" she asked, her voice tinged with desperation. Leo offered to help her, and together they began searching for a way to reverse the spell. They spent nights poring over ancient texts, seeking out people who might know about curses and magic. Zara could feel the darkness lifting each time she spent a moment with Leo, as if his presence was enough to push back the emptiness. Finally, they found a passage in an old book that hinted at a way to break her curse. It said that only a willing sacrifice of the heart, an act of true, unselfish love could dissolve the magic binding her. The book didn't explain further, but Zara sensed what it meant. One night, as they stood on a bridge overlooking the city, Zara looked at Leo, feeling the weight of her decision. "I'm ready to give this up," she whispered, realizing that her love for him was stronger than her desire for power. With a simple touch of his hand, Zara felt the enchantment shatter. The pull she had over others faded instantly, replaced by a sense of peace. The dark emptiness lifted, and she felt lighter, free from the burden she'd carried for so long. As they walked away from the bridge, Zara felt a quiet joy she hadn't known before. She'd lost her spell, but she'd gained something far more valuable: a real connection, a love that filled her heart in ways magic never could.